turn to Romans chapter 7. I'd like to give you a short assignment that you could do for me. It's very simple. I could even make it optional. It's extra credit assignment. It's not on your curriculum. And this is what is the title. We'll call it Bar Room Counsel. And I don't want you to go to a bar room to find it out. Okay? And what I want to do is I want to use them in my messages in the church. Barroom counsel. I'll give you two examples. So you're sitting at a bar, and the guy leans over. You talk to him about all of your pain in life and your troubles. You got tears in your beer. We don't drink beer, Eli. Remember that? I'm sorry, Eli. I mean Tyler. Tyler. I was pointing at Tyler. But Eli's over there. We're not drinking beer, all right? Knock it off. Okay. Yeah. So you're in a bar room and you cry. You're crying to the guy next to you, and he says, "Your problems are irreversible. You are stuck." Okay. Example one. Number two. You talk to him about your problems and you look for help, and you know what he says to you? You are on your own. I'm not helping you. I can't help you. I don't know anybody who can help you. You are on your own. Okay? Do you get the idea of what I'm looking for? I'm looking for bad counsel. What's the answer to the first one? Your problems are irreversible. Look at. What's this say? I'm made new. What does God say? I am God. Is there anything I can do? Is there anything that I could do for you? What can I do for you? I am God. But you look at the barroom soul, the guy without God, he'll give you advice all day long, and it can be very discouraging and also misleading and also a lie because he doesn't know God. So if you go to a bar room to get your counsel, you may be abort a baby, you may divorce your wife, you may commit fornication, you may sleep with a guy and get AIDS or sleep with a guy, period. You may live any kind of way. If you go to bar rooms and get your counsel there or off the TV, you will be misled because these people are not people that are giving divine counsel. And that's where a lot of people suffer because their counselors are in a hair salon or in a bar room or on a football team or just off the movies or newspaper or something off the radio. You have to pay attention and get divine counsel. That's Psalm 1, verses 1 to 3. Okay? All right, so you're just going to write something down and hand it in to me, extra credit, and I may use it in a message, and I'm preaching here in Baltimore or wherever I go, and I'll tell that the class gave me, and here's some barroom counsel. All right? And I want you to hear it here. And I think you guys are degenerate enough to give me barroom counsel. Fabricated, yeah, just carnal, ungodly, carnal, evil, demonic counsel. Okay? Do you get it? Yes, Heidi. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. You just helped me immensely. She just gave good advice. The bad counsel is on one line. Godly counsel comes after it. Got it? She gets double credit. Elijah, just like Elijah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Are we ready? This is the last part of our class here tonight. Are you all right with that assignment? It's optional, extra credit. Turn it in. I'll enjoy it. I can use it. You ready? You good with that? Okay. You belly up to the bar, and the guy says, you start to cry and talk how lonely you are. And what's the guy say? Huh? We're not even going to say it. We don't. Okay. That's your assignment. Turn to Romans 7 with me. And we've got 10 minutes left here. Niazi, at the break, brought up a good question, and it provokes me to add another glove to my gloves here. So, and it has to do with my heart, the spirit, my heart, my soul, my body. And it's a good point. Like, how does the heart fit in there? Remember Proverbs 4, the value of the heart. Out of the heart proceeds the issues of life. Keep your heart with all diligence. Take care of your heart. Guard your heart. Your heart can become hardened, deceived, and erroneous. I can err in my heart. Perceive things entirely differently from somebody else because of the heart. It's amazing. Two people could hear the same thing but hear it two different ways because of the heart. Two people could see the same thing but see two different things because of the heart. What I want to see or what I am able to see, for example. So the heart is critically important. Niazi's question also had to do with, where does my sin come from? If I am born again and I have a new heart, and that affects my soul, my body, then how does sin happen? Where does that come from? Where is my sin nature in our diagram here, in our model? And we have said that the sin is it's connected with my body, by the way, my physical body. My old sin nature and my physical body, they're connected. It may even be in our genetics. Our sin nature is connected biologically to our body. And by the way, when we die and our body is dead, then we are free from our sin nature in that sense where we're not even in the presence of it. We're out of our body and out of our sin nature. So we are gone without it. Praise the Lord. That day is coming. And now we taste life without sin because of our new birth and our new hearts, which gives us Christ's mind and the peace. And we can actually sense that God made us to give us his life, and that in that life there's no death, there's no fear and darkness. So we are between two realities. One is our heavenly destiny and the reality of God and his holiness and righteousness, and our sin nature. And it just happens that I wake up on a certain morning and I feel bad. I'm guilty. I haven't done anything wrong, but I'm just guilty. I'm worried. I'm troubled. I'm wondering, any number of things that just happen because I still have a sin nature. And this sin nature is active. It's there. If you live by law, the sin nature is accentuated. When you adopt a way of life that is legalistic, that accentuates the whole problem of our sin nature. And we read that in Romans 7. That I was alive without the law once, but when the law came, sin revived. It moved. When I was told what to do and what not to do, I became excited in my sin nature. And I found myself guilty. I found myself with effort to do the right thing, at the same time in the presence of disobedience and rebellion, not to do the right thing. We have illustrated that by chairs in the past on the stage, but that was before some of you have been here. So I want to illustrate that. I think I could do that just quickly. Maybe over here are some chairs. Here are 3 stools. I wonder if... Okay. Oh, good. When Adam was in the garden, he was told not to eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And we could liken that tree to these 2 chairs. It's knowledge. This is an amazing idea, that it's knowledge of good and evil. You wonder, like, what's wrong with knowledge? Have you ever thought about that? Like, why not have knowledge? And I thought one day, what knowledge is it that I don't want to have? Can anybody think of anything? Huh? Knowledge of evil. I don't know that that's so bad. God, to know evil. I don't want to be part of evil, but to know evil. I know Lucifer fell and he became evil, and I know it in terms, but here's one example, make it short. I don't want to know the day I'm going to die. Okay? Why? Because it would mess up my whole life. If God said to me, you will die October 4th, 2017. That knowledge is not good for me, because it'll affect my whole organizing my life. That knowledge, you just think about it, it's like not a blessing to me. It's better for me not to have that knowledge. And this is interesting. This tree was not for us. Like, what did it do to us? We don't know, like, really, because we've never been without this sin nature. We have tasted of a different way in Christ. The tree of life is this tree over here. And notice, it's just one word, tree of life. It's not the tree of life and death. It's the tree of life, God's life. This is where he wanted us to eat. But we never ate from this tree. Adam and Eve, when they were in the garden, they ate of the trees, and then we know they ate of this one. And this is knowledge that has affected our way of looking at the world, of looking at ourselves, of looking at our future, looking at our past. It's been a curse. It has not been God's will. It's amazing, just that parking there and thinking about that. How has it affected us? We don't even know. It might be something like when you look in the face of a child, just take a child maybe 4 years old. They are a sinner, but their sin hasn't developed. let's say 4 or 5-year-old child, and you look in the face of a child, just set them down and just talk to them and listen to them and look at them. And it's like, I wonder what their mind would be, what a person, an adult would be in their mind if they had no sin nature. You know? Like a child is refreshing for us because we're not seeing the deceit, the lie. Yes, we make jokes of it, he took the cookie, said he didn't, or whatever, but the transparency, the genuineness, we are refreshed by children. They have a sin nature. But just think about a whole race of people without sin. Without the knowledge isn't there. And maybe the knowledge would come later. Maybe God would show man something about good and evil, like in the way that we know it. And in the way that we know it, we should not know it. We are not to know that. We're to be different. But we don't know. But Christ was this way. Christ was without the knowledge of good and evil. But as we said in our lesson, Christ was, like here, the tree of life, and he was a quickening spirit. So he had knowledge. He had the knowledge of God, and he had intuition. But he had no guilt. He had no shame. He had no fear. He was uniquely different, and he was very much alive. We said the 3 pieces of furniture. He had spiritual food, and he had a communion with the Father, and he knew what was right, and he knew what was wrong. This is interesting. When something was wrong with regards to God, he was angry about it, and it bothered him. And other things, like over there, those people, when things are wrong, but not the way he saw it. Like for example, we've sinned, okay? I'm dead to God. Let's put this away. I'm dead to God, and I'm alive to myself. And I'll say, he took my money, and he shouldn't have done that. Why did he take my money? He stole my money. And why did he do that? It's like, I'm so angry about that. And I would never do that myself. I wouldn't treat another person that way. What is a man plagued with? Conscience, good and bad. Like, I am good, and present with me is evil over here. And I'm saying, that man, he stole my money, and he should not have done that. And that rips me up. That is not fair to me. It's not right what he did. And I just can't understand that, and I don't accept it. What did Jesus say about the same story? Jesus said, when the man came to him and he said, my brother stole the inheritance, what did Jesus say? Beware of covetousness. Beware of covetousness. He went to a deeper issue. And he said, really, your problem isn't with your brother stealing your inheritance. Your problem is that you don't know God. And that's what you need. That's why I came. And your problem is really sin. And of course, I'm sorry about you losing your money, but there's bigger fish to fry here. And that is, you're suffering, and it'll happen again to you because you're really eating at the wrong tree. You're living in your sin nature, which is why I came, give you a new life. All right, so turn to, it's past time, Romans chapter 7. And I think we need to cover this in detail next week. And I'd like you to read from verse 15 to the end, verse 25, and we'll do that next week. Okay, read 15 to 25 every day this week before class. Every day read those verses, and we'll catch you later. Okay, you're dismissed.